Hi, brothers and sisters. This is Melanie back again. And I'm actually doing this video for our friends on Facebook. Let me just turn this around really quick. Hi, everybody. It's Melanie. Anyways, for Christian communities on Facebook, I was telling you guys that you can make this cheese called Dream Cheese that you have to do with raw milk. You cannot use pasteurized milk for this, guys. It has to come straight from a cow. Nothing added to it or anything, just straight from the teat into the jar, or you can go to the Amish and get it from them, and that's what I do. Anyways, it's raw milk that you take, and the way I do, I'm just going to switch this around so you guys kind of get an idea of what I do. I go to the Amish and I get these half-gallon mason jars, and they'll go ahead and fill them up. I had 16 done this last time, and this was done last week Thursday. So today is Wednesday. Now, yesterday, what I did is I emptied them. So you can kind of see where the cream rises to. I'm going to show you guys really quick. Let me just grab so you guys get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the jar. I'm just going to put this down really quick to open this. This is what it looks like. Now, you only really want it for about 5 days, and on the top, the cream will literally be like chunky. And this raw milk does not ever go bad. It changes form, okay? So that's something to think about. So what I do is I will take a strainer and put it in something, and that's when I put, you can either do cheesecloth and put it over, or even like men's white t-shirts, you cut them on the sides and put it over. You can do that as well. And then what you do, I'm just going to show you guys the consistency of this, is you take this and you would pour it through like the cheesecloth. I'm using all of mine right now, but this is an idea of do, and you can see that it is like a chunky ness. Now this, as you get down lower, it gets really like watery, and that's the weight in there, and that's why you have the cheesecloth. So you take the cheesecloth, let's pretend there's cheesecloth, you know, that this is over. You then take it and kind of squeeze the top and push it down to try and get some more weight out of there. Then what you do is you take it and you hang it. So I did these yesterday after 5 days of hanging. So this is what you have, and this is the way. So you can kind of see I'm squeezing like nothing's coming out, and that's the way you want it. So these are shirts that it's in. You keep this like this just so no flies or nothing, you know, gets to it, so it kind of stays more sanitary. And something with this that you want to understand is the good bacteria, like when you do raw milk, good bacteria just keeps growing. Now, pasteurized milk, it kills all the good bacteria, and that's why pasteurized milk can go bad. Raw milk never goes bad, guys. So this has been hanging for 24 hours since last night. And I'm going to grab a different spoon because I don't want to cross-contaminate. You do have to use common sense with this. So this is how the form is right now. My hands are clean. I've washed them. This is how the form is right now after 24 hours of being hung. This is how it is prior to. So now after 24 hours of this being hung, I want to add more salt to this and kind of mix her up, because the salt actually helps preserve and bring out more good bacteria. That helps. Just kind of mix it. And it also helps dry it more because there's still going to be more whey that comes out of that. So then you do that, and what I use is I just use it's like this kind of string that you use for gardening normally. I use this. I take this, bunch up like this, tie it, and then hang it, as you can see with that one there. And this is what the one that I just grabbed does. And this one kind of still feels a little, yep, there's still some drops coming out of there. But and then this is the whey, which you otherwise known as, you can use this for like baking or whatever else. But I put this in my compost pile because it's really good for your garden too. We don't really use it for baking or anything like that. And then being that it's out in this area like this and not like a really like a regular kitchen or anything like that, I just kind of just throw it in our compost pile. But this is going to make a whole lot of cheese, you guys. So what I do with it is I will make it, and then after tomorrow, I go ahead and add the more salt to it, and I hang it. And then tomorrow is when I will actually form it into balls, roll it in seasoning, Italian seasoning at that. Then you use olive oil and you put it in a jar and you cover all of it with a top of olive oil, and it's good for like years in your pantry or cellar. But anyways, I'm going to do a little more of that tomorrow and kind of show you guys how I do the process. But this is something really good to think about, guys, because even the early Egyptians, I mean, they have archaeologists that are still digging up things that the early Egyptians did such with, and this stuff really is not that bad tasting at all. It's actually very good. But this is a softer cheese that you would use for like crackers or spread or anything like that, even on toast or something. Or if you want to make manna bread's a really easy bread to make without the rising with the yeast or anything like that. So that's something to think about too, kind of like how they did in biblical times. But there's lots of YouTube videos on this, guys, on how to do this. So I would suggest watching them. I'm kind of trying to do one. This is my second time doing it, so I'm not like the greatest at it. But the last batch I made, which was my first batch, turned out wonderfully. It's not hard to do. It's really easy. Jersey cows would be the best to get the milk from because Jersey cows have the highest cream content. That's what I would use for butter or for making cheese. Also, let's say during the tribulation, you have children, babies especially, and you don't have baby formula. You're going to want to either do goat milk, specifically, probably alpine goats is what you would want to use for goat milk, or Jersey cows that has the higher fat content. We got to think, guys, back in the day, there were people that, women that had babies that couldn't breastfeed. And what do? They used goat milk or cow milk. So this cheese that I'm making, like I said, it comes from a Jersey cow, and I've had this in a jar, and I just showed you guys what it looks like once you empty it. But I had it sitting in a jar for 5 days out on the counter. Raw milk never goes bad. It just changes form and the good bacteria builds. When you first pour it, it turns like this. It's kind of, you can see the whey in there, but you would otherwise have cheesecloth in there. You'd squeeze it out. Here's some cheesecloth. You put it in, you hang it for another 24 hours. This is what it ends up looking like. You can use t-shirts to do this with, cut them in half. That's what I do. I empty this is whey. You can use this for baking. Like I said, what we do is we just throw it in our compost pile. Then I would leave it sit for another 24 hours. Tomorrow I'm going to take it out. I'm going to form it, roll it in chives, Italian seasonings. You can make it spicy. You can make it just Italian wise. You can really make it however you want to make it. I wouldn't suggest adding sugars though, because sugars can kind of mess up with the good bacteria. So I wouldn't do any sugar. But this is something that will stay good. Like I said, the archaeologists are digging stuff up like this from the earliest Egyptians under olive oil, and it's still edible and perfectly safe to eat today. So this is something, as long as you keep in a dark, cool place in a mason jar covered with olive oil, it has to be completely covered. This will stay good for a really long time. For those of you that don't have a homestead, that live in the city, whatever, you can go to the outskirts, you can find the aisle and buy raw milk. Like I said, Jersey cows are the ones you're going to want to go with. Women, children, even men, we all need our calcium, you guys. We got to have that dairy. So this is something very easy to do that you can still get your dairy products from, natural, without preservatives or any of the other gunk added with it. That's going to stay good for a really long time without refrigeration. So this is something I would highly suggest for everybody. And then for those of you, who may be pregnant during that time or become pregnant during that time, I would hope that nobody becomes pregnant during that time, because it's gonna be a really bad time that we're going through. But anyways, long story short, like I said, guys, goats and cow milk raw, specifically more goats, is what they would use in the olden days when we didn't have formula and women couldn't breastfeed. That would sustain the the fat content in the milk to be able to sustain the babies, and their health and upbringing. So just some things to think about, guys. Like I said, it's not hard to do. I did it my first time last month. It turned out really good. Everybody loved the cheese. It was really, really good. It's very good tasting, probably better cheese than you would normally get in the store. Just like, homemade butter. It is so good. Like, once you have stuff that's not pasteurized and has the hormones and all the other crap in it, once you actually eat that and then try this, you can so tell the difference. Just my thoughts, but I just wanted to share this video. And tomorrow, when I start actually rolling this up and putting in the jars and stuff, I'll kind of show you that process as well. But everybody, God bless. I hope you have a wonderful day. Everyone, please keep our family in your prayers. Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning, we have court at 8 a.m. in Wood County, Wisconsin, for my grandson. That hopefully, I pray to the Lord Jesus, everything will go well and we will be able to leave court with him. If not that day, leave with him. According to the guardian ad litem, be able to have him that Saturday. So, everybody have a great day. I love you all, and we'll talk to you soon.